It's Matt Santacapita from the Mulligan Realty Group, and this is another episode of our Monday Market Update. Now, numbers are in. We're getting close to, call it, settling into the fall market. So there's certain numbers that typically this time of year start to kind of fade away. However, some of these numbers are actually pretty interesting when we really dig into them and look at them. I'm not going to go too deep into them. I'm just going to make some commentary and we'll go from there. So new listings this last week came in at 257, which is slightly below the previous week. So we were trending a lot closer to the 300. So interesting that we're seeing a pullback in listings. This is where I think things are getting interesting though, is pendings are sitting at 99. So those are properties that are waiting to close. Conditional solds are sitting at 97, then price decreases are actually at 111. The price decreases is a very interesting one because the last time we were around this range, or really actually over 100, was back in July. It was towards the mid-July. So I think what we're seeing there is homeowners, some sellers, have been on the market for a decent amount of time and they are starting to adjust what their expectation is based off of probably seeing some other sold signs go up. And the reason I say that is because pending and conditional is still sitting up pretty high at some good numbers for the City of London for right now in comparison to previous weeks. So pending and conditional sales are remaining strong, but listings are starting to drop, which is going to be interesting because we are in a relatively, call it, balanced market for the most part. But if we see new listings starting to drop, but we see pending conditional stay the same, that means we're going to push up more to a seller's market. More importantly, we still will continue with price stability, which is great because that's what we need. One other comment here that I'm going to make is on the Bank of Canada related to they did do a 25 basis point cut. So that would affect something called a variable rate mortgage. Fixed money is tied to what we call more confidence that global investors have in the Canadian economy and the treasury yields, call it. So hopefully we continue to see the Bank of Canada easing their overnight rate. I do think they need to continue that, but more importantly, and I don't want to get political here, but I do think our federal government does need to actually step in and start doing something to give more confidence in the global market to the Canadian economy, but also to give Canadians more confidence in our economy as well and in our governing bodies. That comes down to the federal government, that comes down to the provincial government, and that comes down to our local municipalities as well, to all roll up their sleeves, dig in, and let's get things moving in a better direction. I do know from talking with buyers and sellers out there, there's tons of demand. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to piece together. So again, if you got any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're always here to help. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of our Money Market Update.